Brandon, how are you?
I'm doing good. Hey, Francis.
It's so good to see your face.
Look, I feel like the man of mystery right now because I'm like nobody ever see. I don't video chat with anybody, so I'm ready.
Ex-
I'm excited.
exactly. Nobody ever gets to see the man behind the House of R&B. But you are so important. So I just shared a little bit about that with you. During the pandemic, so many people got accolades because they kept music alive. They helped people to thrive and to feel a part of something by playing music. You were one of those individuals. And so that's why I want to have you here.
Nah, just hearing that sounds unbelievable. I'm like, who me? I'm like, out of all people, me? Nah, you guys got the wrong guy.
Yes, Brandon, it's you. It's you. So tell me, what made you start doing the House of R&B? Did you do this before the pandemic, or how did this all come about?
So I've always grown up doing music and being involved with just fine arts. I mean, when I went to middle school, I went to a fine arts magnet school. So it was sixth grade through 12th grade, nothing but pretty much look, a high school musical. You know what I'm saying? People singing, running around all over the place. So my actually the funny thing was my major is film. So really I'm a filmmaker. People don't know that about I've been doing film for about 15 years and counting. So but I remember my film teacher and the singing teacher would fight over me with the guidance counselor. And they were like, he has to pick one. So I ended up picking film because I was like, at the time, I was like, girls don't want a male singer. Girls don't want to be with a dude singing.
Oh,
Well,
you didn't know.
I did not know. I did not know. So, fast forward through college and stuff, and me just opening up my own freelance videography company for a while. I ended up going to the Revolt Summit in Atlanta, and I think Diddy brought it here in like 2019. So I'm walking around just getting my hustle on, and as you can kind of tell, I'm a natural, I'm a talker. You know what I'm saying? If I see somebody, I engage with them. I like to know everybody who I'm around. That's just me. I like to know everybody individually. I come doing sales, you got to talk to 500 people a day. It just comes like a little routine to you. So I meet this kid, and he's like, I'm a singer. I'm like, man, I could sing too. Everybody could sing, man. I was like, sing something for me. This dude in a crowd full of people starts singing, and everybody got quiet. Everybody got quiet. So I'm like, who is this kid? I'm like, so what are you doing here? He's like, I'm really here trying to find a manager. And he's like, man, you seem like, well, he's like, what do you do? You a music manager? I'm like, no. I was like, dude, I'm a filmmaker I'm just good at sales. So we exchanged each other information. I didn't know anything about the kid. Turns out it was Malcolm White. So if you don't know a lot about Malcolm White, he went viral on Facebook singing at a lunch table. And I remember they started doing a little school bus remix, and he was singing I'm in Love with the Coco. I'm like, I was watching that like, yo, that little dude can sing, man. He's gonna grow up to be a fire singer. And it's like, I'm meeting this kid, and I'm like, I forgot all about it. We ended up going to Cheesecake Factory, and with his friend and my friend, and it was just like the energy was just so like just back and forth. I was like, man, we got to take a picture right now. We took a picture. I don't think me and Malcolm have been like this for the last 2 years. So he ended up getting on Clubhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets on Clubhouse during the pandemic. He's like, man, this industry app, man, you'll be able to get on their network. It's so dope. They got, you know what I'm saying? You're there with these people. You're in a room. You're talking with them directly. So he sends me an invite. I get on the app. And the one thing I noticed when I got on the app was whenever you entered into a space, nobody gave you, everybody like kind of just was like, these are the important people in this room. We're the only ones going to talk. Everybody else sit in the audience. And that's just it. I'm like, this isn't too engaging with me. I'm like, I want to be engaged. I don't want to have to wait 3 hours, 4 hours just to say my little 5-minute piece and, sent back to the audience. I was like, it's not working for me. So I was like, I wonder what this app could be. So I'm sitting. I remember I woke up at 6 a.m. and, I like to wake up, get on my computer, read emails, do edit, do tutorials, do a little graphic design here and there. And I'm sitting at the house and I always listen to R&B music. That's one. I didn't grow up listening to rap or hip hop. I grew up in a very gospel single mother home. So, it was all boo-hoo, men ain't nothing. We listen to Whitney Houston, Mary J. Blige, Not Gonna Cry. And you know what I'm saying? Like, so, I always have R&B music playing in the background. So I opened up a room and it was just, I was playing music. People started coming in the room and I'm naturally just like, hey, looking at people's bios to see what they do, calling them to the stage, having the conversation. And they're just like, man, what you turn that up in the background? Like, you just rocking out. Then it was just like, I think it started off maybe like 20 people. It was just 20 people in the room. And then it was just like, I was like, all right, everybody, I'm about to go get lunch. They're like, oh, where you going? I get off at 5. I'm like, so y'all want me to sit here and play music for it? And then they were like, yeah, what's your cash app? And I'm like, I'm like, what is this, right? And so they're like, are you going to do this again? And I was like, I just told them, I was like, well, I just wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I guess tomorrow when I wake up, I'll just open another room, right? And I'm sitting around and I'm like, R&B. I'm just saying R&B like out loud. It's like 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, R&B, rhythm and blues, rhythm and breakfast. And I was like, that's it. So I opened the title. They were like, man, I came here because of the title. And then initially I was doing it on my own. And then this club called Free Thought reached out to me. And they were like, hey, we love your room. We have a club. It already, has about 25,000 members or so at the time. And it was just like, they were like, come try doing your sessions in our room. So I remember we were working together. And I mean, I didn't expect like, it just it was like every day. And just being on, and if you know about Clubhouse, the nature of Clubhouse, about how you could just be in a room and somebody of importance just pops in and you're just like, oh my goodness. I'm like, am I in a room with, what I'm saying, Carl Thomas right now? Like you're sitting there, you're like, yeah,
and
Carl Thomas.
He's so humble. He's laid back.
He's a dad. He's a dad guy. Well, he is a dad guy for real. But so it was just like I said, it just became like a thing that I started doing every day, and it's really just snowballed into something that I'm like, this is growing way too fast for me. So that's just kind of how I got on Clubhouse and whatnot.
I think that so a lot of people don't really know about Clubhouse because if they didn't have Apple, then they really weren't able to get on, right?
Right.
So now people are hearing about it and they're able to join, but they're kind of late to the party. So they may not really understand what Clubhouse is all about. So when I came into your room, I saw House of R&B, and I was like, immediately, I was like, okay, I'm in love. I put it in my title. If I'm on Clubhouse, this is where you can find me. So
I know, I saw that. I saw that in your bio. I was just like, you got to understand, when I read stuff like that, I'm like, okay, I'm like, this is real. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you don't expect those kind of things. Nobody can ever say they sit at home and just expect something just to like, take off like that. And it just did. And I'm like, ugh, like I say, sometimes I don't even know whether I'm up or down, so.
You are music. So, like, I was like, okay, this guy is on 24/7. So no matter what was going on. So my son started traveling and I started coming in the room more. And then you would have open conversations. You didn't even know us. And we would just have these conversations, but you made it so comfortable. I remember sharing information that most people don't know about me.
Nah, you seem like you open up like after, say a little 10 minutes, 10, 20 minutes or something like that.
No, honestly, like, especially, well, when I'm at work, because I really don't go many places. But so when I'm at work, I'm there and I'm working. It's, it's not personal. Yeah. So there are some people, of course, that you kind of gravitate to, but it's business. So it is for me, it has to be a special something for me to say, hey, here's what I'm going through and or what I've been through, and I'm sharing this so that maybe you don't have to go through this. But you made the room feel like family. And I remember everybody having conversations about certain things, talked about dress, grooming, things like that. So it's something special about you. And I remember you talking about your mother and father all the time. So they've embedded something in you. Even when you spoke about the music and the kind of music you all listen to, that's some of the music you play, I don't even listen to. And you're younger than me. So you have like this old spirit to you. Like you are somebody's son, but you act like you somebody's daddy and ain't got no.
Yeah, I'm right down. I gotta use that one. I gotta use that one. I heard that one before.
How long have you been on Clubhouse?
2 years.
Whoa.
December, I think I joined. It was right before the holidays, so I think it was maybe that middle of December or something like that.
Mhm.
2020, the year 2020, right?
Yes, that's pretty cool. So something else I really love about your room, like you said, you can meet all kind of people in that room. How on earth did you meet all of these stars? I think maybe it was last year where you did the what do you call it, behind the music?
Mm-hmm.
And Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, everybody came in that room. How
Mm-hmm.
on earth did you meet all those individuals?
So this, so the one thing about Clubhouse, and that's really awesome, is that it speeds up your networking ability
Mhm.
by 20. You know what I'm saying? Times 20, times 10. I think, and I didn't grow up. A lot of people in the industry grew up in the industry. Either
Mhm.
they're family members or somebody in the family or somebody's connected. I didn't have any of that. So off jump, I had to hustle and I had to have skill. I think growing up, one thing that was taught to me was it isn't, in your case, it isn't who you know, it's who you know, then it's what you know. You know what I'm saying? Not what you, well, I said that wrong. It's not what you know first, it's, and then who you know, it's who you know, then it's what you know. So it's like, get in, you know what I'm saying? I honed my skills. I made sure I was the best at whatever I was involved in. When I did photography, videography, I made sure everything I did was fire. You know what I'm saying? And that kind of, I think I got introduced because I worked a videographer gig for the BT Hip Hop Awards. And it was in like 2017, and it was a live stream. And one of my mentors, Mr. Johnson, he kind of like, no, I think I showed up and he was like, there was two guys with there, right? And only one was gonna get to go in with like all the stars and be like, he looked at the one dude, nah, I'm sending Brandon in. He's like, they're gonna eat you up. And then
They
so
love you.
I get in there, everybody just, I'm like, it just felt like one thing, I see a human first before I see a celebrity. You know what I'm saying? Like I have one thing my parents didn't instill into me was having discernment about things. So I can read and see something for, you know what I'm saying, what it is. So it's like, and that's how I carry myself. I'm not going to treat you any special. I'm not going to throw stuff. So fast forward, because I'll sit up here and go on forever. But I had met a few being with Malcolm, and then the things that we were doing, I met a bunch of people before, but you say, hey, hi, bye, you go on. I get on Clubhouse and it's just like, I'm sitting in the room and boom, you just like Jimmy Jam, like you said, Jimmy Jam comes in the room, or Andre Davis, or like I say, Lonnie Burrell enters your space. You know what I'm saying? Shaq's been in my room. Like, I'm like, so, and they always say, I was on Clubhouse. I never get on here. I'm scrolling. I see House of R&B. I come in and it'll be crazy things because it's either I'm playing their music already and they come in the room like I summon them or something, or it's like you know, we're just vibing out, like having a discussion. They're like, man, I just really love the energy up in here. And I'm pretty, look, I'm a smart guy. So when I see these people pop in the room, I instantly start playing their music. I look up, I look up whoever I'm dealing with, and I play the music. And because I know personally, I'm like, if I popped into a random clubhouse room full of people and they just started playing my music and everybody starts going crazy, I would feel loved. It's about, I'm raised very family-like, you know what I'm saying? So everything with me, when you hang out with me, it's all Italian. I'm very Italian. If I want to go eat somewhere, I'm like, everybody, I want to go eat at this place. We're going, I'm paying. Like, that's how I am. Because I want you to enjoy yourself. Sometimes people work, we all are at different places in life, right? So it's like, if you have the opportunity position, I shouldn't want to go out and eat by myself, but I could take my friends. All I gotta do is just pick up the bill. I'm still gonna enjoy myself, laugh, have a good time. And that's the kind of atmosphere I wanted to create in Clubhouse, because I felt like, well, when you're dealing with R&B music, it's a lot of emotions. And, you know, people use that music as stress relief. So I look at, and then I get a lot of DMs. So I get a lot of messages from people about and that's what kind of motivated me to do it even more. I think I was reading one message and this lady was like, you know, my father passed away. I came into your room this night, and she was like, you were just, it just felt like I was like with like 50 people that, you know what I'm saying, that I'd never met, I never knew, and they just showed me love. And I was like, I just treat people how I would want to be treated in a space. I want everybody, because everybody is important. You know what I'm saying? Nothing, an ant is not just an ant to me. Everything is everything. So I'm like, you have to treat everybody and move in a manner that it always just stays like positive. And the first like OG that I met was Lonnie Burrell. He came into the room, and I usually don't tell people this story. This is probably the first time I'm saying this story on public record. Okay. So he was like, you need to come out to LA, man. Now, I'm from the country, like Hepzibah, okay?
So and I've never even heard of that before, so.
Exactly. Exactly.
Gotta be.
So I'm like, so he's like, come out to LA, and I'm like, LA, man, I've been out to LA before. I don't want to deal with it. I'm like, that's too, I'm not a spotlight person. I like to be in the shadows. I like to be behind the scenes. That's always where I've been, production. That's it. So I just take a chance and go to LA, right? I meet up with two other people for the first time from Clubhouse, right? And we're all eating. Lonnie calls me. He's like, where you at? I was being a weirdo. The first day he told me to pull up, because I'm very respectful. So if you don't call me, I won't hit you up, because I don't want you to feel like I'm bothering you. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, he called me. He's like, what are you doing, man? I'm like, I'm at a Mexican restaurant eating tacos. He's like, why did you hit me up yesterday? I was like, I didn't want to bother you. He was like, nah, man, it's not like that. It's not like that. He's like, call me. I get caught up in my day. Call. I'm like, okay. He's like, where you at? I'm like, I'm at this restaurant with the day. He's like, pull up to the compound, which, if you don't know what the compound is, that's Snoop Dogg's studio in LA. Like, that's Snoop Dogg's. Right. It's a big dog studio, right? So I'm sitting there, and this show, I guess, told Alani a lot about my character, because I just met my friends Terrell and Ade, and I'm like, damn, do I just get up and leave them and be like, hey, I gotta go to Snoop Dogg's studio. See you guys, you know what I'm saying? See you guys later. And in my mind, something was just like, take them with you. He's like, if you can go, I'm cool with them. They can come with me. I say, yo, get in the car. I say, everybody get in the car. We're going somewhere. They didn't even know where we were going. We pull up to Snoop Dogg's studio. I'm looking all crazy, because this is my first time walking in. They're like, who are these three random people up in here?
Right. Like, is this okay?
Right. And so I'm meeting Lonnie for the first time. Now, mind you, this is my first time meeting OG Lonnie. So I'm like, he might not be cool with this. We show up. He looking at the vibe, and he's like, yeah, y'all. He's like, everybody's cool. Like, come on, like, we're gonna do this. So I think we spent 4 hours that first time hanging out. And then after that, me and him just resonated on, I'm saying, on a brother level, like on kind of on a spiritual, like he could kind of tell some of the things that I was going through and like how I was feeling. And it's just been ever since then, man, he's just been a great mentor to me. I done met some powerful icons and just been blessed, and I'm extremely grateful because I'm like, this doesn't happen. I would never expected that I was gonna play one-on-one basketball with Jamie Foxx. You know what I'm saying? Ever in my life. You know what I'm saying? Okay. I'm like, it's just like, dang, dude, I was just watching you in the Spider-Man movie. Like, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm in your kitchen. We're talking smack to each other about basketball, So it's just, it's been a wild ride, and I'm just extremely grateful.
I am so impressed with you. It's so funny because you have touched on a few things that I wanted to talk to you about. Lonnie Burrell, so impressed with that, how cool you guys are. And then when he came into your room the other day and you were playing all of his different songs, I had no idea he touched any of that music.
Dude, his catalog is ridiculously long.
Exactly. And then the fact that you kept going back and forth to LA, I was wondering, what is Brandon doing back and forth in LA?
Well, Atlanta is Black Hollywood, right?
Yeah.
But things just look, I've noticed that once everybody makes it, they get right out of Atlanta and they want to go live in the Beverly Hills around all the nice stuff. So it's easier to do business. Like, I remember, I think I went to a smoothie place and I ended up meeting like a producer, you know what I'm saying? Like an engineer who's worked on like a lot of stuff. And I'm like, I follow him on Instagram. I use it on his Instagram page. He went this, that, third and the person. And we both over here just having regular conversations because we both like ginger in our smoothie. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it kind of, being in LA separates that. It really, like, they're still regular people too. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that we're all on the same playing field, but it's just about the space that we're in. Now, I love being in Atlanta, but it's chicken wings and Hennessy, you know what I'm saying? And, you can't do no business in the club. Yeah, look, this is Atlanta.
You are so right. You're so right. It is a difference. When I went to LA for the first time, and you know how I feel about D Nice, but when
I gotta tell you my D Nice story too. I gotta tell you my D Nice.
I can't wait. Yeah, because I've been waiting to hear. Okay, when is this battle going to take place? But it's okay. We started talking about D Nice. I'm like, my mind just went somewhere else. So when I went to LA for his concert at the Hollywood Bowl, I was like, Hollywood is so different from here. And honestly, I feel free. It was so weird because here you have people looking in your face trying to see, are you somebody, or, all that weird stuff. Out there, the somebodies are walking around and not paying anybody
trying to pay their rent,
and we'll speak to you, hold the door for you. It was so cool and laid back. I really love that atmosphere. But okay, so we can stop that. Tell me about your D9 story.
So look, again, thanks to Lonnie Burrell.
Yeah.
So, man, I think it was, I want to say this was last November, and this is when they started doing the verses. So this was, I think, Bobby Brown versus Keith Sweat had a verses. So Lonnie was like, I think I had just gotten to LA. He was like, we're going. He calls me. He just be like, he'll ask me where I'm at, and then I'll be like, I'm this. He'd be like, you need to be here in this amount of time. And I'm like, check or where, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I gotta go, whatever, I'm out. So we get to the spot and we walk right in. We're backstage. As he's walking in, Tank sees Lonnie and is like, and freaks out. And I'm just like, and now mind you, this is my first time seeing Tank. So I'm like, damn, to see how Lonnie was just embraced, man. I'm just like, every time I'm with him, and it's like, you see a major artist, they see him and they freak out because they know how just talented and I've seen him work in the studio, and he's a beast. And it's just like, it's like you just imagine, you're like, dang man, this guy has this much respect for this dude. This is crazy. Like, who am I really? Am I with the secret president? Like,
Right.
So,
Especially Tank, because he's everything too.
right. So we're standing in a circle, and I'm just like, there. And you know what? The one thing that I didn't notice, I was like, they were so nice. They weren't rude. You know what I'm saying? Everyone that I've met has been just extremely just humble, not rude or anything like that. Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're like, well, Lonnie and then everybody would tell me like, Lonnie don't hang around nobody who ain't real. I can tell you that. I know him. So if you with him, you cool. They're like, once you're in, you're in. I'm like, I don't know what that means. I'm not trying to end up in the trunk. But but D Nice is standing is with Tank, right next to Tank, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you don't know me, I am considered a bold person. I will say something to you. What's on my mind? I'm not gonna sit there and try to act like I'm not a super fan. You know what I'm saying? I turn to D Nice and I'm like, first thing I come out my mouth with, I want to battle you, man.
Mm-hmm.
First thing I say to D Nice, I ain't even say what's up soon. I was like, I want to battle you. I was like, you're a legendary DJ. He was like, what? He's surprised. He's like, why me? What did I do? I'm like, dude, no, you're the best of the best. You're the legend. I'm like, I told him about rhythm and battle, and he was like, get my number, and he gave me his number, and I was surprised. I'm like, did D Nice just give me his number to set up at a battle? And so of course, we walk away. He's like, D Nice gave you his number? I'm like, yeah. He's like, you ain't ready for that. I was like, I know I'm not. So my battle with D Nice is still pending whenever I get the courage to challenge him to a battle. And I hope he welcomes with open arms or something. Maybe I'm at to hit Lonnie to give him a ring. But I remember you told me, you're like, you're going to go see D Nice at the Hollywood Bowl. And I'm like, you know how much pressure that puts on me to try and ask a man who's a DJ that just sold out a whole arena to do a battle?
The thing is that I love the feeling. So when we come into Rhythm and Breakfast, and that family feeling you get, it's just like you feel safe. For me, I'm always worried about the Unabomber or somebody crazy, because these people, some of them need some help, and
Right.
can't help it. They just need help. But when I tell you, as soon as I got there, I felt comfortable. There was no worries. There were no fears. People were, walking past or asking, hey, can you take a picture for us? Or, hey, can I have some of your wine? Because me and my sister, we brought bottles. So but it was so laid back and cool. I mean, it felt like, have you ever gone into his live?
Yeah. I've been in his live before.
It was just, and it's not, I'm not a super fan, I don't think I would say. I'm impressed with the struggle. So from where he came, where he came from until where he is now, and all of the battles that he had to fight, the pressures that you go through when you're in the industry, but you still stay,
right,
stuck to who you are. And he took care of his children. I love to see that, so I love him, Whitney Houston, Mary J, up Sean. But I also I see you as being one of those individuals also. I see you as being it's about your heart, it's about your nature. You're just who you are. And it's funny because even when I first met you, I was like, Brandon is like my child. He don't even know he's my son.
But you know what? I didn't got claimed as a lot of people. I probably got claimed on a lot of taxes this year as being a lot of people.
Right. And hey, and we trying to lower the debt and the tax. So that helps us.
Look, I'm trying.
I also love the fact that the thing is that coming from, I was born in the 70s, the late 70s. And so some of the artists that you bring on, Karen White, people probably forgot about Karen White because we don't really hear about her. So you
Mhm.
brought her back to life, really. You know, people started recognizing her again, even other artists. So I really respect that. I'm
Me?
waiting.
Nah. It's
Yeah,
Karen White. We talking about Karen White now. We talking
we
about Karen
talking
White.
about Karen White, but
That's
yeah,
a big gut on her own. But you know, the thing with the behind the music, that stemmed from, I want to say, Miss Gloria, Gloria Stewart, who wrote a lot of songs for Casey and JoJo and like worked with Tony Braxton and whatnot. She ended up joining the space, and then I like did her discography, and then she brought Miss Sue Carwell to us as well, who did a lot of songs that you know what I'm saying, and love and stuff like that, and background vocals wise, reference tracks. But she ended up, the two of them kind of drew like I did an interview with them, and then they were just like, oh my God, they love the platform and just how open and it was, because I remember, I forgot who it was. I want to say Cameo was the first to come in my room, like on their own, like just on their own. And I mean, they turned it into a reunion, and it was just like, we got to get on here and talk and like really do this and sit down and talk. And that's what kind of created Behind the Music. So it just doing that. I mean, like, and it's actually an experience for me, because I didn't grow, you hear Cameo, what's the first two songs you think of?
I can't think of the name of the song, but they make this noise. It's not even. I don't even think it's a word.
So for anybody else listening to this podcast, it's
Don't
Tastes
judge
Like
me.
Candy,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
can
That.
feel it, and
But
word
it's another
out,
owl or something.
out,
Yeah.
word
That.
out. There you go.
That's
There you
the.
go. There you go.
Yeah. Because my father, he was a music fanatic. So, on the weekends, that's what we would do. We would sit in a circle because him and my mom had 6 kids, and he would play songs and he would sing and dance for us. So you know what? That's probably the feeling that I get when I hear you play the music, because you're also singing.
I'll be doing a little something, not too crazy.
Now you can sing.
Crazy.
You can sing. And something else I really love too, that when the people from your room, they meet up in different states, you also go visit.
I do that. I do that. I do that. You know what? And that was like the scariest part, because everybody was worried about me. They were like, is he gonna look like what he looks like in his pictures? Is he tall? Is he short? What does he look like? And and then they hear me on Clubhouse, and it's just like, I think the first time I met up with Clubhouse people was in Atlanta, and it wasn't anybody from the house R&B. And then once I met people there was a few people that came from the house of R&B down there, and then we met up, and I was just like, this is crazy. So then I was, I think, we planned our first trip to Denver. So our club had our first link up in Denver, and it was like 30 of us. And I'm like, the whole time I was so excited. I mean, any picture that I'm in, it's me like, cause it's just so, I mean, who
Surreal.
gets on an app, then flies, you know what I'm saying? Literally, there was 2 people that came on the trip. That was their first time ever getting on an airplane.
Wow.
Would you believe that? It was first time ever getting on an airplane, traveling West Coast. And they were just like, yo, y'all, I be with y'all every day. Like, and I was nervous, and I was just like, you know what? Like, they're all going. And it was just like, it really, when I'm telling you, when everybody showed up, it was just like look, I'm like, my arms and this part of my body was hurting for the rest of the day, because people was hugging the shit out of me. And I didn't mean to curse, but they was hugging me, so people were not letting me go and stuff like that. And it would just felt like a real, like, because you're on this app. I stay on the app all day, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, day work. And it's just like it's like being in a big relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like a big relationship or having brothers and sisters because you like, oh, I know y'all about to get off work. I know what you're doing. You wake up, and then it's like, especially during rhythm in bed, everybody, if you come to rhythm in bed, we're gonna wake up and we're gonna be family in the morning because we're all falling asleep. Look, you waking up, you fall asleep in the room, then you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm surrounded by 70 people. You know what I'm saying?
It is a weird feeling because it's like the first time I did it, I was like, wait a minute, this is I just fell asleep with all these people. And then you get up and then you take a shower, brush your teeth, and do your hair with all of these
back in the room. Look, yeah.
Yes. But it's so funny because I remember you saying, I think you were telling Real, hey, take over. I'm about to take a shower. Everything just went so natural.
It was like, and that's the one thing I do appreciate. It's just like everything is natural. That's the one thing I can say about House R&B. I'm very strong about it being organic. And that's why when y'all came in the room, I used to say, I hate corporate. I don't want to do anything, nothing corporate. Cause I believe that it sucks. Who wants a fun police and everything where you gotta make sure you follow the greenhouse and do this. Mm-hmm. I'm like, no, if you want to be here, you're going to be here. And that's what makes it, gives it that whole family atmosphere,
Yeah. And I missed it I moved around February. So I was gone for a couple of months and I came back and it was same old feel.
Cause I'm one of the people I remember once I see you once, I know you. Like it's like a just like, look at me. Like, yes. I'm in your life forever. All
forever. Right? I already knew. Listen, when we exchanged numbers, I was like, oh yeah, forever.
Right. Yeah, come on.
Me, yeah. But have you done a meetup here in Atlanta? Because even when you did the Denver one, I kept saying, do it in Atlanta because I already knew. I was like, these couple of years we've been stuck at home for COVID, like I was serious about not being outside.
Oh wow! See,
I'm trying to get this COVID weight off. What? No,
I was outside every day.
My son had it. My daughters had it. Their husbands had it. I have 4 grandbabies. They had it. Everybody had it. So I was like, if I get it, I'm gonna die. I'm not even taking no chances.
Not that's what you had to tell the life insurance policy people. Like, if I get COVID, I'm gone. Look.
You know, I am the insurance company. So
I actually didn't get it. Like, I didn't get it one time. I didn't get it one time, and I was surprised because I'm like, all the shit that I was doing. Look,
I'm so surprised, and I don't remember seeing you guys with the mask on in your pictures.
I don't. Yo, you know what's so funny? People thought this was a mask.
Stop it.
I'm not even kidding. So when I get on airplanes, if I'm like this, they were like, they thought I had a mask covering my face. So I would be on the plane, on the flight, wearing no mask, and nobody would realize it. Didn't say a single thing. I think only one time a lady woke me up out of my sleep. I'm pretty sure somebody was hating on me, but right. They know. Look, somehow the beard protected. Look, I'm like, the beard protected me from COVID. I'm like,
So that's really, well, in a way it's good, but in a way it's like, Brandon, put your mask on.
Right. Yeah. Well, look, I was the first person. Look, I do want to take a credit because I felt like when they said put a mask on, I went and bought a ski mask. I was like, y'all want me to wear a mask? You ain't gonna see nothing. I might steal something. If
Don't say that.
Look, I might steal something if I'm wearing a mask. I'm just playing.
Brandon would never steal from nobody.
I would. I was
that person. Your parents did such a good job with you. You are such a great person. I think that.
I'm a growing man. I am a growing.
But you are such a great person. Even when you think you have things that you need to adjust, there are other people that have greater things. Trust me. And for you to be the age that you are, yeah, they've done a really good job because you are emotionally mature, and you don't really see that in people your age. So.
thank you. I guess. I'm like, look, y'all don't know how I might be acting once I get off this interview. I'm just playing.
Hey, we heard you a couple of times when the phone was unmuted, but it still wasn't bad.
That's that Hepzibah coming out of me.
It still wasn't bad. So do you have a lot of people giving you tips when you're doing your music?
What do you mean? Like, you know what? I will say this. Clubhouse, and you know, I don't believe one. I'm like, I wasn't in it for the money, you know what I'm saying? Because because I felt like I was already satisfied and comfortable with my standings and stuff like that. So I definitely wasn't in for the money. I saw the opportunity to build my brand and to, you know what I'm saying, further the music management stuff. So I just never was thinking about the money, and really I was spending so much just traveling and doing this. And now mind you, we're in the course of the pandemic. So no videographer was working. You know what I'm saying? Because we couldn't go to no buildings, we couldn't shoot, we couldn't do this, nothing. So it was like, you know, and I'm not good at paperwork. A lot of people do not know this. So I am the paperwork list king. So when it was time, all the people were thinking about PPPs and SBAs, I didn't have none of that. I didn't know how to do it. I was like, all right, I'm like, I give, you know what I'm saying? I was like, nah, I'm not gonna take care of it. And it was just, and you know, you just don't think people are gonna give you tips, but people, they really show out. Like I'm like, they really show out, but I don't know. I guess I'm helping them get their bag. So you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You know, the only thing I ask for sometimes maybe some wings. That's really what it is.
That's your favorite thing, wings.
I love some wings now. I love some wings. Look, I got some right here. Anybody home? Look, I got some right here.
What's your favorite kind of wing?
It's hot barbecue and honey lemon pepper.
I've never had honey lemon pepper.
You stay in Atlanta, right?
Yeah, I've never had them.
Okay, we'll talk about that off record.
I'm gonna have to try those. I have to try those. That sounds good.
What we're gonna have to do because we still haven't met. So we're gonna have to go get some wings. That's what we're gonna do. Some honey lemon pepper wings.
Some wings and margaritas.
Now you're speaking my language.
Okay. On me.
There we go.
Y'all heard it.
Look, y'all heard it.
I got you. I got you. Don't worry. So you don't really have a schedule. You are 24 hours. Or when
I have a schedule.
Oh, okay.
I do have a schedule. So I usually like to wake up from like 6, because you know everything. When you're doing something, you have to understand analytics and algorithms. You know what I'm saying? And how people are, because I notice I'm like, if I like let's use today's Friday. Let's use Thursday night example. Mm-hmm. I make sure I have my butt in the room on Thursday night playing music, because everybody needs to go to sleep. It's Friday, this end of the week. I gotta set. If I don't, I feel like bad, because I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel like I don't wake up and play music. If I don't play music that Thursday night, they're not gonna feel good. People would be like, I remember I used to get messages when I first started at 11 o'clock at night. No rhythm in bed tonight? I can't go to sleep. What's going on, man? I'm so used to rhythm in bed at night. I can't go to sleep.
I was like that too, especially when my son first started traveling. I told Tan, I was like, I don't know what I would do without y'all. So trust me, yeah, I get what they're saying.
I try to start first thing in the morning. I like to at least wait till like 7 or 8 to start breakfast, because everybody's still asleep. And now mind you, I'm playing with now look, I call myself the time zone man, because I say I live in all time zones. People be asking me, like, what time are you in? I'm like, I'm like, it's 3:52 for me, because I'm on LA time. You want to fast forward to UK time, I'm here. But I try to think about that, because I'm like, what's the balance? You know what I'm saying? But always at 2 o'clock, we cut into backwoods. And then by 8 o'clock, I'm doing bed. You know what I'm saying? Because I I still have to have time to go to the studio. Time to go to the studio, go out. I still like to go running. I still like to go play bat. Look, I gave up a lot of stuff doing the clubhouse stuff for a while, and I was just like, one day I kind of lost it, and I was like, I got to get out of this. I'm like, look, the pandemic is over. I got to get out of this house.
Yes, you do. You do have to get out, take a vacation for yourself. You know, but when you ride in the car, just still do, you know, House of R&B.
Right. Look, this
you did it when you were in LA.
When I get in the car, I don't listen to R&B.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? I usually don't listen to music.
Oh, wow.
I usually, I don't listen to music, or I listen to super trap rap. You know, I'm like, shoot him up, shoot him.
Oh, no.
I'm riding around in the car, getting my gangster on.
Oh, no. We would be like, who is that guy?
Right, because it's gonna be Unbreak My Heart by 9 o'clock, you know. So I'm like,
you need a balance. I know.
Yeah, I gotta have some sort of balance. That's what I like. But yeah, right around the car solid sometimes. Sometimes it's I do like to give my ears a break. You know what I'm saying? I do take care. One thing I am, if you do know me, I'm really adamant about my health. So I wake up every day, almost every day. I eat a piece of ginger raw, and I eat a lime whole. You know what I'm saying? And I do this, and I intake spring water, and then it's just like and sometimes like during the winter, and like the beginning of the year, I have to sleep in heat. I have to be in like 80 degrees or something.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're doing something right. Your hair is shiny, your beard is shiny, your skin look good. So you're doing something right. Do you take vitamins?
Who, me? No. I try to eat a lot of fruit. I'm a fruit and veggie guy. I don't eat. I have like one of those. Look, I have a chicken wing diet, so all I eat is wings.
Yeah, I know. You're always talking about wings. So listen, how do you stay awake? That is one of the things I always wonder, because I go to sleep.
So a lot of people don't know this about me, and it's something that I wanted to grow away from that title. But when I was 3, I was diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, ADHD, ODD, and PTSD. And a lot of people don't know what ODD is: oppositional defiant disorder, which is AKA, this is a badass kid that just don't want to listen.
Which is most kids.
He medically can't listen. You know what I'm saying? But so I used to, I was always restless. You know what I'm saying? My brain, people don't understand. I may talk, and you can see it in the way I talk, but my brain is like a computer, 24/7. It's always running. And that's why, look, when I turned 21, when I started drinking wine, I was like, oh my gosh, I can sleep at night.
Really?
I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, yeah, and I actually had to like go to the doctor, because I was coming reliant on like stuff to like I'd be popping melatonins and stuff just because I couldn't sleep at night. Like I just stay up and just be super restless. And then so now just like, but now it works out perfect, because I'm listening to the music, I'm singing my heart out, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, but I mean, generally, I don't know. I think I can go about 5 days and like just like sleeping here and there, like just sleeping like maybe like an hour or something. But then I'll have to like crash. I'll just be in bed for like a whole 24. But I don't know. I'm like a battery or something. Look, I'm like a little battery or something. I do got a lot of energy. That's one thing I do know. I got a lot of energy, because I'll be with my friends and they were like, bro, I'm going home. I'm like,
right, to bed.
I'm like, it's 3 a.m. Let's go get something to eat. Like, what are we doing? Like,
no, you need a nap.
You know what? A lot of creatives are like that. A lot of creatives stay up. Like, especially when I went out to LA.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the clock. I'm like, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. And now I'm being the responsible person. I'm like, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm trying to look. Then you gotta wonder who you are, because you're like, I'm not even tired, but I need to say. Look, I'm like, this ain't cool. We gotta go home. Like,
right.
But but I think it's I'm one of those people where I don't get tired because I love what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you're working in your passions, you can never get tired.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you go to work, I used to go to work. I remember I used to work at Jimmy John's, and I would come home working 8 hours. And this is back when I got out of high school, but I would never be tired because I wasn't doing anything that really stimulated my mind or really like pushed my, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm making sandwiches, boom, slide. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you could be tired, but it's like, no, I would get tired because I would come home and I'm editing film projects or I'm editing music or I'm working on this or working on that. And I'm staying up till 3 or 4 in the morning trying to figure that out. But no, I don't get tired.
You know, when I was younger, I used to be the same way. And that's probably, so it's a lot about you. I'm like, oh, I get it. That's why I love you, Brandon. So my daughter, she also has ADD, ADHD, you know, and a couple of other things. But it's like the doctor said, females manage it a little different, where it's harder for males to manage it. So
Right.
that's probably what it was. But I used to be the same way, up all day long, up in the middle of the night, couldn't go to sleep, you know, and then finally I hit 30 and I was like, wait a minute, I need a nap. I never got what people were talking about needing a nap in the middle of the day. I'm like, who can do that? Like, that's weird, you know, and you're missing out on so much of the day. But it's nothing. Hey, I say, as long as you feel healthy, continue to do what you're doing, but, you know, also try and balance it. Just balance yourself. I used to be the same way. Like I said, I would drive from Atlanta to Indiana, Atlanta to Chicago, you know, not, you know, and I might need maybe an hour of sleep. My mom would wake me back up and I would head right back home. So I understand.
I don't know if I could do all that. Look, I did a 16-hour drive to Texas once and I stopped 8 times.
Oh no, see, my ex-husband used to do the same thing. He would stop all the time, and because he needed to smoke a cigarette. And I said, we're never gonna make it anywhere. And then I took the wheel, and he's like, okay, pull over. I gotta go to the bathroom. Absolutely not.
Oh, see that? Nope. Look, I'd have been like, girl, if you don't let me out this car, I'm like, I need to get a milkshake or something.
Listen, I'm the kind of person, we're gonna stop for gas, whatever we need at that gas station, you better get. Other than that, because I have a time frame. Well, and I'm blind. So it's like, we need to get off this road.
We gotta be home by sundown.
But before sundown, if we don't want no accident. Yes.
So you said one thing, and I wanted to say something, man, about management. I had to give kudos to my mom. And you know, my mom was a single parent, but the one thing my mom really did was she put me in creative stuff, and that allowed me to use all that energy, and you know what I'm saying, use all that energy into being creative. And that's what I think a lot of, you know, I've always wanted to, once I got older, you know, I wanted to be an advocate, you know, just as my mom was for kids with autism, because I'm like, people don't understand, you're just dealing with a high functioning creative, and you have to put them in that position where they can, you know what I'm saying, express that. Because if you try to, it's like, if you try to make somebody write inside the lines, you wondering why they doing, you like, why can't you write straight on these lines? What's wrong with you?
No, I completely get it, because I am in a corporate environment, and I love the fact that they never held me in. I can do my job. I do my job the same as everybody else, but I'm doing a million other things too. So it's like, wait a minute, didn't I see you in that film? You know, for the company, aren't you in all these other different projects? So I completely get what you're saying. Even though the energy isn't there, the mental is still there. So even when you get older, you're still going to be doing 100 million different things, and they all come out successful because you know what you're doing.
Right.
You execute proficiently. So, and that's exactly what you're doing now. Even with, I love the karaoke.
Oh gosh, karaoke.
I love the fact that when people come in there, I don't care if they can sing. Their voice sounds like they're scratching on the chalkboard. Forgive me, y'all. but you still give them the same kudos. I love that. Make them feel good, about what they're doing and feeling comfortable about singing and participating, just being a part of the room.
One thing I love karaoke. That's one, look, no matter what city I go to, I go do karaoke in that city. That's like one of my like bucket lists. I have to go do any city that I go to or visit, I have to go do karaoke in it. Like that's because I remember, and you know, I'm a dude. Most guys where I come from, they're not going to no damn karaoke night. But
Right.
I would get off of work, and I remember all my friends moved away.
Mhm.
So it was just, and you're just lonely. People that look, a lot of people, I was hella lonely. Like you ain't got no friends. You sitting around the house. People like, damn, I can only lay on this couch about 50 freaking ways. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, let me get out the house and go do something. So I was like, let me just go to this karaoke night. And it was like, I think I went to one, and I'm sitting in there, I'm having my little drink, whatever. And then you're watching people, and then it's just like, I'm like, damn, why did they get up there and do this song out of all? you're like,
Yeah.
why?
Why does
But then,
everybody want to do Whitney Houston?
right. And then it's just like, and then you'll see people just do songs that you just wouldn't expect out of. Well, you know what I'm saying? That just not even the genre did. But then I had to realize what karaoke was. And I had to think about why I was there as well. I'm like, damn, I'm here as an escape. Like, this is my one moment to get up on the stage and act like I'm freaking Usher. You know what I'm saying? Or Genuine Trey songs, and really live in that moment. And when you come down, people are like, yo, that was
Yeah.
awesome. I gotta buy you a drink. Oh my gosh. And it was just like, damn, I really love that feeling. So when I got on Clubhouse, I was like, yo, we gotta do it. And then karaoke on Clubhouse is freaking, it's times 10 a regular karaoke night. Okay, let me guys tell you that. So if you're watching this, please come to our karaoke night on Thursdays at 8 in the House R&B. Because I think last time I didn't even sing anything. I made $100. Like people would just, because you got to understand, imagine being in a space and you got people from different states that are really talented coming in there. And so you're sitting in there for 3 hours listening to some really amazing people sing. You're like, damn, did I just leave a little mini Grammys or something? Like,
Exactly.
it's crazy. So like I say, the karaoke has been a really fun thing. It does, it has its moments. It does have its moments where people will come in there. Look, I'll be sitting there and I'm like, here we go again with the country. I'm like, and it's funny because the title says R&B karaoke night, and people still coming there, and that's why I just be like, you know what, man, let them get it off.
Do what you want to
Just let them get it off. And then like I get messages in back channels be like, yo, I had a dope time. I've always had because I kind of feel like it's therapy. You got to kind of look past doing music, because I'm like, people like, man, I had stage fright. I came to your room, man. You invited me up on the stage, and I never did this, and I sang, and then next 10 minutes later, we can't get them to stop talking. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
and they want to sing for the second round too.
They want to sing for the second round, the third round, and stuff like that. I'll be like, okay, look, I'm like,
like you barely made it through the first one. But
like,
right.
sometimes I'll be like, okay.
I know. I thought about it a couple of times, but I've never done your karaoke. I love coming in there, listening to people do it. But I do have stage fright. I'm not gonna lie. That's why I started the YouTube channel. So I did the podcast. So I've been doing the podcast since 2017.
Uh-huh.
A friend of mine said, "Hey, do you want to start a radio station?" And that was my way of seeing, is this something I really want to do? But I mentioned it before, I'm a Jehovah's Witness. So even when we go on the stage and I have to give a part, I black out. And then afterwards, people are like, "Oh, that was so good." And I'm like, I can't even tell you what happened.
No, you can't black out. Look.
So that's why I don't do your karaoke, because I'm so, yeah.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you to do it. Don't even worry about it. I get you to do it, girl. I got you.
I enjoy it though. It's so good. They are entertaining. And I love when they are saying, "Hey, tell me your cash app so that I can see you guys money." But I think for some people, they don't even care that they got the money. I think just that having that camaraderie, and feeling accepted, I see a lot of people continue to come back because of that.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's growing, and I'm waiting for the day. I'm waiting for the day. I want to see 500 people in the room, but it's just like I say, it's been a real fun experience, man. We're not gonna stop doing karaoke, so it's only gonna get bigger and better as time goes on.
Yes. Now I have a question. I know we've been on here for a while, so I'm gonna end
I'm
it.
having fun. Look, I told you
Okay.
not to bring. What I told you when I was like, when you bring me on this interview, I was like, I'm a talker. I am a whole talker.
And I want you to. I for real. I love your energy. You are so funny. You hilarious.
I try. Ain't that funny?
Would you think about doing the House of R&B, doing your own radio station for it? Would you do that?
Yeah, I would. I really, and the idea with the direction I'm headed in now. So speaking of which, our first event in Atlanta is going to be. I'm actually about to start hosting live sessions.
What?
Yeah, so it's gonna be. I'm about to drop the flyer. The flyer will be out shortly.
Okay,
When
I'm
the event
coming.
Brightly, you gotta look. You gotta sit in my section now. You have to. I need my little R&B gang, house R&B
I'll
gang
be
in my
there.
section. But yeah, we're gonna start doing events all of June. That's what we're aiming for right now. I'm gonna be doing an event in LA next week. So if you're in LA area, man, make sure you tap in with me on that. Now I'm looking to kind of mesh the virtual world and the real world. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, because I know I'm like, it's okay to do this on this platform, but you got to think. My thing is, if you create something that can exist beyond whatever you started on.
Mm-hmm.
I love Clubhouse, but
Mm-hmm.
we might log on to Clubhouse. It might be like sold.
Right, exactly.
Sold.
Or shut down.
Yeah, shut
Or
down.
a lawsuit for whatever reason.
So I'm like, okay, now I need to think of what can I create with this? We've already created a network. We already have our own. We just reached 50,000 members in our club. So our network is crazy. Like you can go on, onto the club. And the cool thing about Clubhouse is, say if I'm looking for somebody, like I'm looking for an event planner or caterer, I can type that in my club search bar, and it'll pop me up a list of all the members of House of R&B that are caterers. And so that's
I didn't know that.
right. So I use that because I'm family oriented. So I keep everything in the circle. So even if we do work, it's always somebody who's a part of our club. Always, they got to be a part of it, because we all are here under the guise for the love of R&B. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why I try to tell people, I'm like, now I want to focus on doing the behind the music. I want to get a studio. So I can actually start having a young artist, new older artist, producer, engineer, have them like a round table to keep these, because nobody's really talking about R&B like the way they need to be talking about R&B, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like, there's no selling point with me. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't come to me and be like, I'm just here to do this to promote my album. It don't work like that with me. Cause I'm like, hey, this shit is, you can keep that. I didn't have to tell, I'm like, I didn't have to come down on Chris Brown. I'm like, hey, Chris, you can keep that. Right. You can keep that, man.
Hey, I love that you and KD connected though.
Who's KD?
You met. So I came in your room the other day, and you were doing something where you were playing new artists, their new songs or whatever. And
from the independent artist night. Okay.
I just messaged him on Instagram and said, "Hey, come in the House of R&B," and crazy. All of a sudden, you start playing questions. I said, "What?"
So,
Brandon, I love the way you connect.
the thing with about independent artist night, and that's gonna be super fun because I'm turning that into a real night. I'm
What,
actually
live?
live.
Man.
So, well, man, when I started the independent artist night, and the reason why I did this was because I was going into rooms, and it's like, bro, people are sitting waiting 5 hours just to get their song played and then get overlooked because it ain't rap. It's not. We ain't pushing R&B right now, or we ain't on R&B right now, right? So I'm like, and you'll be surprised. Well, and that's another topic, being an independent artist, an upcoming artist, because in today's game, I've heard, I could say almost 120 different artists play me a song. And let's say 30 of them I'm like, damn, this could be on the radio. This is a hit. But the knowledge isn't there. The knowledge isn't there. The capital isn't there. You know what I'm saying? All the other aspects that go into being a true independent artist isn't there. So I had, and I'm looking, I'm like, okay, I got Frank Knuckles. I got OG Frank Knuckles from the Roots. I got Lonnie Burrell. I got Suanne Carwell, Kenneth, Kenneth Krause, Andre Davis. I have all these OGs that come into the club. I was like, I should be doing my own. I'm like, I should be, introducing, playing this stuff down. Cause I'm like, I believe in the music. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and if I believe in something, I'm gonna play it. And I was like, I want to give them the opportunity. And when you come in independent artist night, I do a mini interview. So I'm like, tell us about yourself. Tell us about the song you wrote. Tell us how we can keep up with you and how we can support you if we like your music. And I feel like they all deserve that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I started the independent artist night. And man, I've been loving it ever since. That's why I'm like, it's just so refreshing to hear the potential and then hear some dope new R&B. And you're like, all right, yeah, right. And if I could do anything, if I could use my platform to help give exposure to somebody else, because that's what you're supposed to do. And I'm gonna do it,
Yes, I love that. And those names that you mentioned, okay, so I love music, love music, love it. Okay. I was in choir since the 6th grade, or in singing groups and all that stuff like that, write music. But those people that you mentioned, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know those people until I came into your room.
All right, I'm not gonna front either. Me neither. I'm like, I think I lived my whole. Well, you know what? And that was a shell. I think that's a shell shock for a lot of people that come into the room because, you look, we didn't all win our whole. Well, I'm like, I'm over here. Ooh, girl, you like it. I know I'm over here thinking that's just next. I'm like, they done rip. I'm like, you're not gonna tell me Usher didn't write You Remind Me. Right. And then it's just like,
I've been lied to my whole life.
Right. And you're like, what? You're like, what? You're like, yeah, man, these guys, they just get in here, they just sing it. Look, we put it down, we do the reference, they just get in here and sing the hell out of the song. I'm like,
that's crazy.
Right. So it takes you, it's like have you ever seen Doctor Strange? Okay, watch Doctor Strange, but there's this part in Doctor Strange where the lady slaps him and his spirit come out of his body. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I feel like I'm dealing with now. I feel like, look, the first time I met Lonnie, it was like I got the slap and my spirit came out of my body, and it's just like, the world you think you're living in, this is what's really going. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm like, damn, this is all the people that make this one person.
Them. They are.
It's not them. It's
and
you.
They don't get the credit for it. That's the crazy thing.
Well, they do.
No, but you got to read it to find out.
You got to read it, and it's I've been around, and a lot of people won't take credit for the bag because you know how egos work. At the end of the day, people don't want. You got major artists out here who their friends and their camps will just be like, bro, just throw me a bag. You know what I'm saying? Like, just drop 150 racks on me for the track, and I won't put my name on it. Or you know what I'm saying? You got to understand. It's about, sometimes you can either seek. It's the same thing. You got to kind of pick and choose your battles and your rewards, because you might accept, you might just say, yo, I want my credit for this. They might have a different vision of how they want things to look to the outside people who are paying them.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, oh, you wanted your name on the credits that bad, man. All right, here your credits. Get out of here. That's your only royalty you're gonna ever get is from that one song, you know? So the industry's still the industry, you know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm gonna say about that, because I'm still a rookie. Don't want to end up in no trunk.
I know that's right. Listen, you still working your way to where you want to be. So
right.
I understand. I'll say it. I'm where I want to be. I'm good. So.
Right.
So are you interested? And like I said, you can sing. So are you interested in maybe doing a song? Because I interviewed KD a couple of weeks back. And then I interviewed my cousin, Sheldon, a couple of, was it last week? And I told both of them about you. My reason for telling Sheldon about you is Sheldon is a producer here in Atlanta also.
Okay.
And so I felt like, I told him, I was like, you can sing. He also sings, but he makes beats and he writes. And I was like, you and Brandon need to get together and go in the studio and put some music down. I think you guys could get together. First of all, your personalities would click. And he owns his own studio too.
Okay.
So are you interested in maybe doing some kind of music? I think
not you didn't turn into an A&R. Not you didn't turn into a little A&R.
Okay, so listen, like a couple of years ago, I did try to have a couple of artists get together and do a little something, but the personalities did not go together. Men, I don't know what's wrong with.
It's like you know. So you got somebody got to be responsible. This is one thing I learned working with men, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody got to be responsible for it all. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Somebody has to take, and that's the thing, because you, especially doing a song, there's so many different elements that go into making a song. You know what I'm saying? Where somebody be like, well, nigga, I came up with the hook. You know what I'm saying? Or I came up with the beat. That's what people really, you know what I'm saying? So then you got all those heads meshing, and then especially with singers, boy. Oh man, yeah, the singers got the biggest That's why you think no male group is still together to this day. Yeah, it's egos. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Everybody want to be star.
You and Shell, you guys will work well together.
I'm open to it. I'm not opposed to it. I'm down. Okay. You know, I'm down.
I'll exchange the information, and I look forward to seeing what'll happen. And you already know KD now, so listen, it's a tour.
Let's go. Let's go. He gonna have to hop on with me and Malcolm now.
Hey, I'm here for it. My thing is that I want to see all y'all succeed. Right. You know, there's enough success, enough money out here for all of y'all. But the thing is that Jay-Z mentioned it in something that he did here recently. We talk about crabs in a barrel, but the thing is that if we all work together, we can all make it to the top. Right. So that's what I'm all about, seeing everybody work together and make it.
Well, you know, it's so funny, and this is something I learned from, I saw Dave Brown shared this, and this is Jamie Foxx's manager. He had posted this clip, and it was like, you saw one guy climbing, like trying to get to the top of a cliff, and then it's like you're running up. It's like several other people you hoist each other up. They're all hoisting each other up, and this one guy, he climbs on everybody's back and goes to the top, but drops a rope down for everybody else to come up. So I was like, sometimes in life, I know it sounds bad, but I'm like, look, climbing on the backs of others to ride to the top. But I'm like, sometimes you have to know your place. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Know your place and know your strengths. And it's like a mentality of, you know what I'm saying? A whole mentality of a whole mentality. I'm sorry, I lost my thought. A whole mentality of, you have to not climb on the backs of others, but sometimes you have to like, if I know that my one, like Malcolm can sing better than me, I'm always gonna send Malcolm. Look, I'm like, no, you go, you go, and I'll, you know what I'm saying, just open the door. Look, go around the back and open the door for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
and that's how it kind of works. It's like, if I have the knowledge and the resources to help you get to a certain place, I already know that you're gonna come. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna come back. So that's how my general spirit of just working with others and trying to collaborate and stuff like that. You gotta look. Somebody got to do all the heavy lifting, and then and that's just it. I don't know if I got off track.
No, you didn't get off track. Nope, you still on there. I agree. I think it's all, even though everybody may have different destinations, but to the same department, we all got to work together to get there. So it's teamwork, and it's boosting each other up to get to where we need to be.
Right.
It's the same way no matter where you work, what you do. Honestly, for me to get to where I am, I took the knowledge of maybe 25 people to become who I am. And it got me where I needed to be. So, and the thing is that they have to just be willing to give. And sometimes you got to pull a little bit more, like, you got more to give.
Right.
So share with me, because I see it at the top of your head. So, and that's the same way in the industry, and the fact that you're a videographer, I think that's majorly cool. So I've done a couple of interviews with people that are also in the industry, people that have wrote films. I just wrote a short film during the pandemic. I wrote a short. Okay, so I'm ready to film. So okay, come, let's work.
All right, let's get it. Look.
So I think that would be really cool too, for you to work with maybe some of the people that I've also interviewed, and myself. My son-in-law is also learning that world too. So, and there are a lot of people here in the Atlanta area that are trying to get into acting. So that might be a good avenue also, to where you can put your music into the work.
Right. I'm not opposed. Look, I'm never opposed to anything. I'm never opposed to linking up with other creatives at all.
Yes.
But right now, if anybody is watching this, I since 2016, I've been doing virtual reality film. So what? I've been dabbling into VR filming and AR, like augmented reality and stuff like that. So I've been playing around with that. I kind of had to give up on film. I'm not gonna lie to you. I gave up on film because I felt like everybody was picking up a DSLR or a Sony A7 and calling themselves a filmmaker. And
okay,
I'm like,
how'd you know I had a Sony?
look. I'm like, look.
Because Best Buy seller.
But everybody gets those, and they got a gimbal, and they were like, I'm a filmmaker now. And I thought the game got really oversaturated. So I was like, I've been wanting to, since I was a kid. I think at Disney at Quest, they had the virtual reality thing. And then I got the Oculus headset when they had for the phone, where you could plug your phone into the headset.
So I didn't know you could plug your phone into that one. So my kids have the Oculus, but I didn't know you could put your phone in there.
Well, it was the Samsung one. The Samsung had their Android phone, and they made a thing called Samsung Gear, which was a VR headset. So I remember I put on the headset, and I was like, oh my goodness.
What
have I stumbled into?
What? Tell me about this filmmaking. How did you do? Well, don't tell everybody. So don't tell the secret, because
it's easy, because you can go buy a camera. Look, you can go, all you gotta do is go. So, and this is what I did. And I think this was the first time I went overseas, because I had went through a lot in 2016. I was in a almost fatal car accident in 2012, and I finally recovered from it. Like, I had brain damage and all kinds of other stuff. So it was like, I was like, I gotta get out of the house. I was like, I had my passport, and my friend broke up with his girlfriend and dragged me with him to Costa Rica. And I was like, whatever, man, that was a wild trip. But I was like, it was Christmas time, and I'm like, I'm going to Paris. I'm going from Atlanta to Paris. I was like, I'm just gonna do it.
Mhm.
And I went to Best Buy, and they had these new cameras, and there was like, it was a little ball, and it was like virtual reality camera 360. I'm like, okay, well, one, it was expensive. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I'm like, damn, $600 for this little ball. I was like, you know, this back in 2016. So I'm like, so I ended up getting one, and I took it overseas with me. And like people, I remember I was in Paris at the Eiffel Tower with this little black ball sitting on the ground, and people thought I was about to blow the damn Eiffel Tower up.
Especially back then.
Right. So I'm over here like flipping it. I'm like, no, look. I'm like, look what it is. They're like, oh my gosh. So I came back.
They like these doggone Americans.
Right. So I came back, and I put the footage on my phone, and I watched the footage on the headset, and I was like, holy shit.
What?
I'm in Paris. I was like, and I'm looking up, down, all around, and you could feel the vibrations. Like you could feel like, you know what I'm saying? And I was just like, man. So I think I took it over to my godmother's house, and I put the headset on it, and she was like, please bring it back. She was like, you know, in my age, she was like, I'm not going to I'm not going to all those places.
Yeah.
So she was like, that was like she was like, it was an experience for me. I felt like I was really there. Like, so it was just, so I started dabbling into that. And then, like I said, I took a break on it to focus on music. But now with technology, you know what I'm saying? The Oculus they finally make Oculus a thing. They're making, you know, you can make your own filters and stuff like that. So now I'm really getting back into it. So if you're in Atlanta, I want to make a short film. I want to make a VR short film, VR music video, all that. So.
Oh, that would be so cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That, wait a minute. Okay. I like that. So is there a way for you to make that short film and then charge people to see it?
Yeah, of course. Well, for you to watch anything virtual reality, you can only use two platforms: Oculus Library or YouTube right now at the moment. Who support? Facebook was the first to support 360 like footage, because you know how you went on like websites and you just use your mouse and it would like take you. So that's virtual reality, but you just don't have the headset on. So when you're in those YouTube videos, you can like scroll and pan and do all this stuff. They're using a VR camera, but you can charge people. You can charge people for anything.
So I'm talking about. I'm like, hey, how do we generate funds here?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we need to do that, because listen, the ending of my short film is wild. It's wild, but even I'm the one that wrote it, but it scares me. So, but with the VR feature, that is like, it would be even more terrifying. And then you can make people feel like, so in the end, this man basically, he goes into the water and he has his child. They look the same. He has green eyes. The baby has green eyes, and he is a black man. And he's going into the water, and he takes his baby into the water with him. I know. I don't know.
Wait, he committed suicide?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, girl. It wasn't no suicide. It just sounded like a murder. Look.
Okay.
Y'all gonna have me. I'm gonna be like, I'll be like, okay. Let me stop. I'll be like, yo, this movie, wow. I'm saying.
Hey, that's what the pandemic brought out of me. So no.
Let's go. Look, let's get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, mine's probably on the more the romantic comedy side, but I leave all the spooky stuff to you.
You know, it's crazy. I was just, you know how you just grab the pen and just start writing? And I've been writing since I was like in the 6th grade or something like that. We're around there. But I've just always been like a writer. I made books, you know, like I was in junior high school, just making little books and doing all kind of stuff like that. So it's always been there. But when something says pick up the pen and start writing, it's for a reason. It's important. So when I did it, it's more so about mental health issues, things that people don't talk about.
Hmm.
So and that's it's a short film, but it's beginning to something that could actually turn into a real movie, like a normal science film
Okay.
or a part two. So
Okay.
yeah.
I'm down to read it. I'm curious to read it.
Okay. All right. So I can get it over to you so that you can check it out and let me know what you think. And then I was like, let's go to Miami to film. That's what I've been thinking.
Let's go to Miami.
The water is beautiful there. Don't you think? You don't
You know
I
what? I
have
don't.
not heard you talk about going to Miami. Have you done that?
You know, a lot of people know I'm originally from Florida. Like, so I was born in Augusta, Georgia, on
Mhm.
Fort Gordon on the military base, and then my mom, she got stationed in Fort Walton Beach, Florida, which is close to Destin and Pensacola area. So I spent a lot of I'm like a country beach boy. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like a country, like real country
I
beach
see
boy.
that.
So it's like I don't think I've been to Miami, and people keep begging me to come to Miami. People are like, "Yo, come to Miami, please come to Miami." So I'm like, so I'm just like, I'm gonna Miami. Don't worry, I'll be making my way down there this year. Okay, I promise, Miami. I promise.
Okay.
Have
Even
all.
if we go just to look at the scene so that because I think that whole strip until you get to the water
Mhm.
would be perfect where the Kardashians had their store. That would all be so perfect. And I can't believe you haven't been to Miami because that's your personality. Like once you go to Miami, you're gonna be like, shut your mouth and keep on.
Really? That's how you know what that look. People always tell me like, man, you got on the flip flops like you from Miami or something. I'm
You dress
like,
like you from Miami. Your hair is like you from Miami. Your beard, your whole personality. Because the same way you felt when you were in LA, that's the same way I felt when I was in Miami.
that's what they say. They say LA and Miami are a lot alike, you know. So
Mm.
I'm like, I got to go back to Miami as an adult. You know what I'm saying? So look, I haven't been. So I'm one of those people, man. I got a moral contract with the Lord. I can't be, I can't be going everywhere because I take too much risk in real life.
But so when you go there, it's not terrifying, you know?
Is that
It's
terrifying?
I'm serious. And for me, like when y'all said something about Denver, did you notice like all of a sudden you didn't see me? I was like, I'm like
I wasn't gonna
I
say nothing. You didn't
spoke
say
up and
anything. Look,
said, I spoke
you
up
didn't
and
say
said,
nothing. I wasn't gonna say nothing.
I said, You don't remember? I
You
was
know,
like,
man, Denver, you know what? And that's the reason why I picked it, because I was like, we're gonna go there and be a whole like difference in Denver. And that's how I was like, and it was awesome. You should look, you'll be there the next one.
hey, let's make it somewhere like Miami. See? See?
Ah,
To Miami or somewhere that most people don't think to go, like Gatlinburg is in Tennessee. There's horseback riding. I mean, it's
you know
horseback.
what? There are actually a lot. You know what? That is actually a dope. That you know what? Okay. Look,
All
you look, not you over here planning. Look, now we on the interview, you planning the trip. Look.
I was trying to do it then, but y'all were so on Denver, and I was like, I'm not going to Colorado.
Look, look, I was high and happy in Denver. All
You
right.
you were so excited. Everybody was excited, like, yes, let's go. And I was like, what is
Guys,
this?
it was very intimate. You know,
Mhm.
Denver's not really a fast-paced city like that. You know, it's a big city, but it's not, jumping at the club, every night or anything like that. So it allowed us to be very like get to know each other. You know what I'm saying? It really allowed us to get to know each other and stuff. And that's what I want every time. I do want, what I'm saying? It's always cool to, party and eat, drink and go on vacation, but you don't want to feel like you don't get to know, what I'm saying? You want to do things with people that y'all can have an experience, you know what I'm saying? Something that just makes memories. Like,
Mhm.
like I didn't know, I'm pretty sure everybody didn't know I'm extremely good at bowling. Like my mom used
You
to play
said that
bingo.
before.
Yeah, my mom used to play bingo and at this bowling alley, and all me and my sister did was bowl. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really good at bowling. Look, I'm wiping up. look, they're like, I think I threw 6 strikes in a row.
What?
And they're looking at like, what's going on?
I
Like,
like bowling, but yeah, I ain't nowhere near that good. It's fun. It's fun. And so I'm not the party person. So like I'm not you know how people will go to the club and stuff like that. I'm not, and if I ever went to a place like that, it was business. It was business. So I also have a friend that owns Fusions in Atlanta.
okay.
So maybe you and him can get together to like set up an event since you're doing in-person things.
Rhythm and bowling.
Well, his Fusions is more like a sports club.
Okay.
So like if you're doing your in-person events and then maybe you can do a meet and greet there at the same time.
Look, Francis, look, I need all the help. You know, I don't look, I'm one of them people, I did not say no to help,
Okay.
all right? Or anything to make things better. I'm not gonna never say no to that, promise you.
Okay. And hey, I'm all about networking. All about networking. So.
Look, I do gotta say something to you, Francis. I gotta give you your flowers right now. Okay. So I'm gonna put it up on you. You really showed me like true like kindness, right? And you know, you do live here. And I think one day you had messaged me and you was like, do you watch basketball or something or something? And I'm like, girl, yes. I'm like, oh, girl, I'm like, y'all didn't see the Rhythm and Basketball rooms? And then you blessed me and you gave me some hawks, like it was like to their I think was it their draft party or something?
It was the draft game. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was a draft game, and I was so surprised because I was just like, I was really surprised. Well, I wasn't expecting that, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that was something that was really nice. And I'm like, thank you. Like, really thank you for that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't know me, you know what I'm saying? And stuff like that. And I'm like, what if she wanted to go? I felt so, I was like, I don't want to feel like I'm taking away something from somebody or anything, but it was just like, you know, I really do appreciate that. So you did that one time for me. And I was like, Francis is so sweet. Like,
thank you. You're so humble. My thing is that you give so much to everybody, so much of your time, you know, your patience. And then even when grown people don't know how to act, you kind of gather them back together. So for somebody to do so much for everybody else, you deserve to get so much back. That's why I asked you, do people cash app you? Because they should. They really should. You know, because this is something that you don't have to do. And like I've even said, you know, like when I was in the house by myself and I had never been in a home by myself. You know, my parents had 6 kids, like I said, mom and a dad. Then I got married, I had my kids and everything. But, well, you know, I had my daughter first, but then I got married and then had the other kids. So to be in the home by myself and you are giving of your time, you're playing this music, you know, you're giving a sense of security that isn't there, you know, and then to wake up and of course we have work, but we're working from home, but you're still like, hey, I'm there without even saying I'm there. So that means a lot. That's why this was so important, because I was like, Brandon doesn't know what he does for everybody.
You know why? Because I hate accolades. I hate being told good. I hate being told thank you. Mm-hmm. I feel like I feel like well, one, you know, say all praise to the Most High, but I feel like I say, I'm just a regular man, and all the stuff anything that I do, y'all can do. So there ain't no difference between me and the next guy. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, anybody can wake up and do this, you know what I'm saying, essentially. So, you know, I thank you guys, because I wouldn't be still doing this had I not, you know what I'm saying, it's just been like I say, a lot of love, and it's been helping me grow. Like, you know what I'm saying, just, you know, I didn't have, my dad was not around growing up. So, you know what I'm saying, role models and people to look up to in my life, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's so dope. And that's why I've learned so much just from my experiences and talking with different people, listening. You know what I'm saying? That's the one thing people don't really do. They don't listen. And if you don't listen, you won't know how somebody feels. And like, that's why when people start talking to me, I'm like, I can hear it in your, they be like this. I'm like, what's wrong? They be like, well, I'm like, look. Well, I'm like, I know that, I know that side. I'm like, everything's cool, but you know what I'm saying? That's why you're here. Go ahead and get it off your chest. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I just think that do what you're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? And when I think people who live wanting their butt kissed for everything that they do and accomplish, I'm like, it's like, I think you'll start to fight a war inside your own mind. So you'll building expectations only leads you to disappointment. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why whenever somebody, I get so defensive, and I know I should stop doing it, but anytime somebody be like, oh my gosh, you're doing this, that, and that, I'll be like, all right, don't tell me, because then I'm gonna take 3 days off. Look.
Oh no.
I'm gonna take 3 days off because I'm like, I don't want to do it. But I just like, I get out there, man. I just do it. I have fun. I be doing it for me because I don't want to go crazy. I'll be
okay.
So I'm like, I really do enjoy playing the music. I'm like, that's why I'm just like, I could listen to music all forever. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I'm just having a lot of fun right now. That's all I can say. I'm having a lot of fun.
I love that you're having fun. That's why when you kept traveling, I was like, that's so good. He needs to be out there and enjoying his life. And you made the comment, anybody can do it. Anybody can try to do it. It doesn't mean that it's going to be done, you know. So
Right.
because I do see other rooms where they're saying, you know, they're kind of mimicking what you do, but it's not. If you're not doing it from the heart, it's not going to have that longevity.
Right.
You're doing it from the heart. You're doing it because you know that people need it. You need it. And it is just who you are. I couldn't see you without the House of R&B. I can't see that.
Look, now 2 years from now, I'm gonna be like, hey man, I'm trying to be a NASCAR driver. What's up? I'm like,
hey, you're young, so you can. But you know what? I can still see you doing that from the car, the NASCAR. You would still be House of R&B. Definitely.
You know, so people don't understand, I have a mobile setup. So I've actually played music from my car. Like I've been traveling, like I have to drive like a 2-hour drive. I'll play music right from the car. I've done sessions, probably shouldn't be, but don't tell nobody. I'm like,
because when you were in LA, you were in a drop top and you were doing it.
Yeah, I was. Man, you know, I look anywhere, bus, car, plane. I've done it 30,000 feet up off of that. Off of that plane Wi-Fi. Yep. Wow. Off of the plane Wi-Fi. I've done it. So I
didn't know that one.
Yeah, that was fun, because it was like, you know, they don't let you be on. So they're like real strict. They're like no phone calls. So the people around me kept thinking that I was on the phone. And I'm like, no, I'm on an app. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm on an app. They're like, I think that guy's on the phone. I'm like, he's just over there turning up. And I'm like, come on, lady. Look.
People get on my nerve. I'm so sorry, but they can be a pain in the butt. Just mind your own business, please. You know.
I'm like, right. Why don't you listen to some of this music that I'm playing? Look, I'm like, that'll help.
Right? Join the House of R&B and calm your little self down. Enjoy this plane ride.
Facts.
Hey, let me double back because we kind of skimmed over Jamie. You know,
oh, here we go. Look.
I know you expected more out of me when you said that, because I was like, okay, we'll wait. So how was it meeting Jamie and hanging out with him? And does he have that personality that we see, you know, when he's on TV? Because it seems like Jamie is Jamie no matter what.
Yo, when I tell you Fox is, well, one, he's a truly inspiring individual to be around. And like I say, you know, me growing up, I read men, like I look at a man's who his character is and who his heart is before I think about all the celebrity shit. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I never forget this. I'm in Atlanta. And I picked up Lonnie came to Atlanta to do some sessions and stuff. He had a bunch of sessions he had to do. And we're riding around, you know, I'm driving him around and stuff. And we're going to start the spot. He gets a phone call and he's like, yo, you know, or no, something's like, yeah, you can stay up at the house. He was like, you can, you know, somebody was like, you can stay up at the house. So we drive to this neighborhood. I'm like, I'm seeing security guards and shit. I'm like, where are we? Look, I live here. I'm like, where are we in the city? So we get to this house and this is the first time I met J-Lac. And J-Lac is a producer. It's produced, you know, he's Usher's brother and whatnot, but he's his own musical genius. J-Lac is me and J-Lac's mind mental. I'm like, he's the only person that could probably beat me in chess if he ever tried, right? But
I knew you were smart. Okay.
we all were sitting in the kitchen, you know, we're in this huge house, and I'm like, look, you know, I'm like we over here drinking champagne. I'm like, I'm like, just pull out Moet. Look, I'm like, they just pulling out Moet. I'm like, so we're sitting there, we're drinking champagne, and then that was it, right? So, you know, we hung out for a bit at the house, and you know, I'm like to tell you, I'm very country. I have lots of manners. Like if I come in anybody's house, I won't fucking move until you tell me to move. Like I'll be like, all right, can I sit right here? I'm like, where can I sit? I'm like, the house is so damn big. I'm like, okay, I don't want to sit up. Look, I'm like, I don't want to sit on nobody $50,000 couch. And I'm like, then you might be sitting on some cashmere. I'm like, so he's like, man, relax, man. Sit, Lonnie. Now, mind you, there's no Fox yet. The next time I think we were, Lonnie was in Atlanta, we were rolling around, he gets a FaceTime call and it's Fox. He's like, what you doing? He's like, what you doing, man? I'm at the crib. You know, we were over here watching the game. He like, I'm with my brother, you know what I'm saying? My little brother, Brandon, he's been, you know, taking care of me since I've been there. He's like, well, y'all both come to the house. He's like, Fox. He get off the phone and, you know, to Lonnie, everything's normal for him. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the car like, nigga, are we about to go to Jamie Foxx's house? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, oh, and then we go back to the same house. I'm like, wait a minute, this was his house the whole time in Atlanta? I'm like,
oh wow.
We walk in, it's like everybody's standing around, and you know, I'm like I say, I'm not a starstruck person because I'm like. I'm not short, you know what I'm saying? So I'll be sizing people up. Like, so, you know, I walk in, I see him and I'm looking at, you know, first you're looking at somebody's their physical attributes, like how tall they are, how I'm like, he's swole. I'm like, damn, I'm like, personal trainer there. He just like, there, both of them are jacked up. And, you know, everybody's cool. Everything was so natural. Like, you know what I'm saying? You're around such such an esteemed person, an actor, you know what I'm saying, musician, at that crazy talented person, right? And you would expect the pressure to be on. And we get in there, we're all watching the game, going back and forth about basketball. So Dave Brown comes around, he's showing this video, and he's like, of old highlights. So I'm like, look, man, all that sounds good, but this looked like this from 2002. So I don't know. I'm like, y'all looking pretty old. I was like, y'all both got grad. I told them straight up, like, y'all don't look like y'all can do that on the basketball court. I'm like, you don't want to get out there with me and take that on. Little did I know that was my mistake. All right, that was my mistake because I'm a very confident person. So it's like Fox is like, so what y'all trying to do? Y'all trying to bang basketball? I'm like, nigga, it's 10:30 at night. So
he said, you didn't have your Wheaties? Like,
so look, I'm sitting there. I'm like, we all talking smack about basketball. And they're like, well, we want to see it. We want to see it, man. He talking about, we want to see it.
Mhm.
He's like, I'm about to see the gym open. He picked up the phone, he called me. He's like, hey, what's up, coach? He's like, the gym open? He's like, yeah, y'all pull up. He's like, everybody, we out. I'm like, all right, I'm about to go stop at the Ross. I'm about to go stop at Ross Marshalls, go buy me some shorts, a t-shirt, pair of shoes, some socks, and I'll meet y'all out there. They was like, no, you don't gotta go nowhere. So Fox,
because they want you to slip off. They was like,
Bruh. Fox runs upstairs, right?
Mhm.
And this man brings me shirt, shorts, a
Wow.
pair of shoes in my size,
Wow.
and some socks. I'm like, he's like, you just keep all this stuff. I'm just like, this is my first time meeting this dude. And he just,
Wow.
you know what I'm saying? Like, just to play a basketball game, right?
Mhm.
So we go to Georgia Tech.
Mhm.
And I'm like, oh, we got Georgia Tech. You know what I'm saying? We pull up. You know, they got the little gymnasium. The head coach, that's who we call. He's like, oh, no, y'all not playing it here. Y'all come with me. This man takes us to the main playing floor where they hoop in. And we played 21, me, him, and Dave Brown. And I'm like, I don't want to foul him. Look, I'm like, look, he got stuff he got to do. Look, you know, you thinking about, you like, he got stuff he got to do, man. Nobody
Right.
about to
You're
have
not trying to hurt him at all.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but I did block him. I got my block. Look, I had to let him know what time it was. But they were not playing. Those men are
They play
extremely in
street
shape.
ball. That's what I'm talking.
They're extremely in shape. Okay. And I was
Okay.
like, I was trying to take it light. And I was like, nah, I should have just came out there and just won, because they watched me and they filmed it. It's all on tape. They filmed it.
Oh.
Everybody was laughing. So, but you know what? And then after that, Fox goes, y'all hungry? Everybody's like, yeah. He's like, call up the steak place and see if they're open.
Mhm.
We go to the steak place. Now, mind you, I ate at the steak place a week before, and they forgot about me and my whole party in the private room. So they ended up having to give us 60% off the bill. So, you know, I like, you know, had to press the manager a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I had to press him a little bit about that 60%, because I was like, he wasn't going to do nothing at first. I was like, no, you don't leave a whole party, you know, for 2 hours, but that's here nor there, right? So we actually go back to the restaurant, and the guy sees me, and he sees me with Fox, and he's like, you know, he's on his P's and Q's. So shout out to James at STK. Look, I had to blast him. But you know, one of the jokes that I made was, I was like, you know, man, I'm gonna say this, man. I've never had somebody whoop my ass in basketball and then buy me a steak dinner afterward.
Clothe you and feed you.
Right.
That.
And gave me the old shoes that I got my ass whooped in. But you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like that.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And all the experiences that I've had with Fox, like after that, have just been some, like, I remember, man, he just came up to me. He was like, man, he's like, you know how to dress, bro. Like, he gave me a comment. I'm like, you know, you feel like, you're like, damn, like, nah, bro, I'm not wearing, you know, he just.
So you guys had an amazing time, it sounds like, playing basketball. And he was so nice. Jamie was so nice, that he even took you out to dinner. So I think
He took the whole crew out. He took the whole crew out to dinner. But yeah, just and that was like my first time meeting him. So it was like, I think I went home that night and I couldn't go to sleep. I was just like, I was so just charged up. You know what I'm saying? Because you sit there, you be like, man, I want to be a leader like that. Like that's how. And you even think about your own friends. You know what I'm saying? In your own circles, you be like, how can I improve things around for the people that I care about around me? You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm like, just watching the way he moved, and everything was so effortless. And I'm like, this is not this is the cultivation of hard work
Mhm.
and sacrifice. You know what I'm saying? And people be all everybody be want to say, well, Hollywood, they're doing weird stuff. They're doing weird stuff. And I'm like, I didn't expect. I'm like, I ain't see nothing. I'm like, I ain't see nothing but a bunch of regular niggas from the country. I'm like,
Yeah.
bunch of country dudes just hustling. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it's just a whole different world, man. It really is. It just really is, And like
Mhm.
I said, man, it's like you'll like, I think I was over. I forgot to say who just showed up at the house. I'm like, you go out there, and it's just like a hub. It's like an artistic hub, and like we got a chance. What I'm saying, they were working on music, and I'm like, man, it's just, yeah. Who knows if Fox ever gonna drop some music again?
Mhm.
I give it about another. I give it about another year. I give it about another year or so, but or maybe another 2 years or whatever. But I mean, like I say, the guy, and I think this is right around the time he won that Oscar, or what was it? Was it an Oscar for the movie Soul? I think, or
Wasn't an Oscar or Emmy? Let me. I'm all about the research.
I think it was an Oscar, because I want to say it was Oscar night, and he won that, and they won that. So it was like a real big time. You know what I'm saying? It was like a real just monumental time, and it's like the Spider-Man movie was coming out, so the man ain't did nothing but step up on his work.
Mhm. Yeah. I'm a fan. Ever since he did the show, Jamie Foxx. I thought that he was authentic. I thought that he showed his well, no. Even before that, it was in Living Color. So when he played Wanda and in Living Color, it was like nobody had did that before, right?
Right.
So for him to be so bold to do it and not be worried about what people thought, I love that about him. And he went all out. I mean, Wanda was not a nice looking person.
The thing that surprised me, just being around him for the time that I did, was that he was a singer.
Yeah.
And you get, so it's just like I've seen the movies for years, and I'm like, I heard the movie, but then it's like you get around this dude, that nigga can blow. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Like,
Yeah.
and
When
so
he
it's just, huh?
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, what you say?
I was gonna say when he would do um his like play around when he was on the Jamie
Stand up,
Foxx
yeah.
show, I would be like, this guy can sing. Why is he not singing? But
Mhm.
understanding how hard it is to get into the music industry and for people to take you serious, I get it now. So and he came out as a comedian and you're playing, a woman, so it's like as a comedian, it's hard for people to really take you serious anyway.
Right.
And then he did do that first album and people still didn't take him serious. And then finally, when he came out, oh my gosh, child, when he came out with that next album,
The one with Blanket on it.
man, no, wait a minute, I think it was the one before Blame It.
Okay.
Because that's remember when I just said Jamie, that was one of the songs, Girl Get Comfortable. Do you know what I'm talking about?
You talking about Intuition album? We're talking
Mm,
about the one with
I know it was.
Unpredictable. Oh, well, he had Intuition, and then he had Unpredictable, right?
Let
I
me
thought look, not
look.
you got me
Now
up
we
here
need
playing
Jamie on
Jamie
the.
Foxx trivia. I'm like, look, I'm gonna pull up to the house. They be like, man, you got that question wrong, man. What's up with that, man? They'll be have me in a circle, beat
I
me with
gave
a stick.
shoes and a shirt. It was the Unpredictable. It was, you right.
So which album came first? Was Intuition or was Intuition first, or was Unpredictable first?
and it's not showing me which one was first. It Unpredictable is popping up first though. So I don't know if it was because maybe it sold more.
Mm.
But Peep This is popping up, and that must have been the first one because I don't remember seeing that album cover. I'm going into the Wikipedia now. Listen, okay, Peep This was first, and then Unpredictable, then Intuition, and then Best Night of My Life. I don't remember that one. I don't remember that. Hollywood, A Story of a Dozen Roses.
Oh, I see. I know about all those albums. Those were like, look, those were the later on albums.
So yeah, Unpredictable was next. Unpredictable was the one where I was just like, okay, this is a new Jamie. This is not the same guy that we've known before, and
Right.
he's
Okay, so it was Unpredictable album
yes,
first, and then he came with Intuition. But
yes.
yeah, when Unpredictable came out, you got to understand it really. Like I say, he mixed both worlds, and that was like
Unpredictable was life. When I say, I mean, he gave you this romantic feeling, but at the same time, he's telling the people what he's about to do. Like
right,
he's not about to take you serious. He making you some dinner, but he showed you he told you what he's about to do, and he could call you a cab. Okay.
right. And the Burrell family was on that album too, and I know Lonnie worked on Intuition because he did a song called Overdose.
We're gonna have to do this again and bring your friend Lonnie. I love
I'm
how
gonna see him. I'm supposed to be with him next week.
okay, so we're gonna have to do this again. You got to come back with him, and y'all have to share y'all stories because I love how genuine he is and how comfortable you guys were. And but the thing is that I've seen him in your room for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly didn't know who he was, but I've always known the Burrell name. Always.
True.
Who don't know the Burrells?
That's right. They're huge. They're big. The
They
Burrells
are.
are a big musical gang.
They are. They are. There's no music without their family.
Right.
So, but it's absolutely crazy. I guess because he was in there all the time, I didn't think anything of it.
You know what? And it's so funny because I had to ask him, like, man, you never act like you related to any of these people. And he don't, because he did everybody does their own lane, man. And like I said, man, Lonnie's a work beast, a real workhorse.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I'm saying? Like, man, like I say, it's different when you hang out with somebody and then they go sing. You know what I'm saying? You're like,
yeah, you just know him as your regular friend, and then you're like,
right. But it's, I'm expecting it. But once you actually finally get to see them in their process and their element, you be like, damn, man, come on.
Right.
Just talented. So, like I said, it's just been just like I say, being under Lonnie's just his guidance, man, and it's been man, like I said, it's just like a real. I think one thing I can say about him is that humbleness isn't a word. Like it's a being with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because when you get around him, man, it's just like, dude, did I just meet Drake because of you? Like, I'm like, did I just dap up Drake because of you? I'm like, I fucking love Drake. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, but it's like, these people really know him and respect him for his talent. And you know what I'm saying? That beats, he could be around anybody and and it's about respect. And I'm like, I really I've seen it with my own two eyes. That's why I tell him, I'm like, look, I'm like, I'm gonna be your biggest co-signer ever.
Okay.
Because I've seen it. I've seen, you know what I'm saying? I've seen it. So like I say, man, shout out to the OG. You know what it is, man. Shout out to everybody who has come through my rooms and just, and supported me doing all this stuff, man. And I can only ask that they keep on supporting me And you know what I'm saying? And I'm always improving. I'm always trying to make things better. So, that's the one thing. So, you'll see some stuff soon, I guess.
You're doing an amazing job, Brandon. I'm enjoying it. I love to see your journey. I can't wait to see what you do next. Of course, you got to work with me, but I can't wait.
I got you.
Thank you. I can't wait to see. And then Monday, you have a behind the music, right?
Yeah, with Miss Suanne Carwell. So she's done My Love Is Like Whoa by Maya. She sung background vocals from Celine Dion, Bobby Brown, Whitney Houston, Monica, Tony Braxton. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the stuff, records that you got that we all grew up on, Miss Suanne had a big major hand in development. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited. We're bringing her back. Miss Suanne is a lively spirit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited to do her that. And then I think after that, we have Mike Snell, who engineered a lot of Tiana Taylor's stuff.
Wow.
And then we're gonna do Jado. And if you guys don't know who Jado is, you're gonna find out. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm really excited to just, we're, like I say, this is like my second year of doing this. So hopefully by the third year, like next year, we'll be full on to doing live everything. You know what I'm saying? So that's the goal.
Well, I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to be there in the audience supporting you. So what time is your behind the scenes on Monday?
It starts at 8:00 Eastern time. 8:00, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Be there. Don't miss out on it. Come to karaoke night. We do a lot of different things during the week. So every night I try to do something. Weekends, don't ask me. I'm playing. Look, right. Weekends I'm playing music. We going to bed. We going to get something to eat. But Monday through Friday, I always try to keep an activity so people can engage. You know what I'm saying? And be interactive and stuff. You don't want to just come to a room and just be sitting there listening to music and nobody's talking. I'm like, that you could do that on your own, right?
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah, you are our DJ. So thank you. I'm gonna. What'd you say?
No, I said I got y'all anytime.
Thank you. I'm gonna tag your Clubhouse room.
Okay.
And I'll also tag. Is it okay to tag your Instagram?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
You do whatever you need to. You got full control. You cool.
Oh, well, thank you. All right.
Yo, you did a good job. This is dope. Let's talk. This was dope. You really did a good job, and I really appreciate you picking me. Look, you had me so nervous. I really thought you was gonna tell me that you wanted to cancel it, and I would have been like, okay, cool. Oh. I was like, who? I'm over here. Because I had to call 3 people today just to talk. God, I had to get out of my system. I'm like, man, I'm a talker. I'm like, I go left, right, up, down, all over the place. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely, I'm saying, thank you for giving me this space and whatnot. And I appreciate you doing. I've seen some of the other interviews too that dope. So make sure y'all check out Francis's Sweetlemon's other interviews, Miss Sweetlemon herself. All right.
Thanks, Brandon. You did an amazing job. And like I said, I want to have you back. So okay. Yeah, we'll set up.
I'm gonna charge my iPad up to 1,000,000%. I'm about to get two iPads just so I can switch them out. Cause I'm telling you, man, we've been talking so long and I can't see a time on the screen. Yeah, like you can't see time or no notification. So I looked, I was like, it's 10 o'clock. I was like,
listen, but this interview, I already knew this interview was going to be good. There are some interviews where you see me wiping my eyes because my face is crying because I'm so tired. And I'm like, can you please stop? But I already knew it was going to be good with you. I love the interchange of, communication, encouragement. I love your personality. Your vibe is everything. So I knew it was going to be good. I knew you were going to do well. Don't ever be nervous when it comes to me.
All right.
Yeah, I'm never going to say anything crazy. And I always tell everybody that, even if you were like in the media and there was some stuff going on, I'm never going to be the person to bring that kind of stuff out. I act like I don't even know it because I'm here for, for the benefit of whatever you're doing.
Right.
Negativity. Yeah, I'm not a gossip column.
All right. Bet. I was like, I had to pull a Trey Songz. I told y'all when I came in here, don't ask me about that shit. Like, you know.
That was my brother. Don't talk
Right.
It's been great, Brandon. I will see you in the room. I'm headed in there now.
Okay. Okay. They're all sitting there. They're like, when is Rhythm in Bed gonna start? I know they're like, when is Rhythm in Bed gonna start? He said he was doing an interview at 7:00. They probably think I'm out running the streets or something.
Well, they'll all get to see it.
Right.
And I'll send you the link so that you can share with everybody too.
Okay. I'm here for it. I'm ready. I'm excited.
Okay. I will talk to you soon. Love you too, friend.
All right. Love you, girl. Bye. House of R&B. We out. Look, we get back to the vibes. We gotta go.
I love it.